Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Mario Bros. 1. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to be patient while I remember the first thing I was going to do, which is not the second thing, and say thank you and shoutouts to Lore Reloaded, Faded Kirby, Sisyphus Happy, Fuzzy Duck, Jesse Ward, Little Ion, Zachariah Jebediah, Thy End of the Line, Loner, Croatia, Gingerman Prime, Ciela, Mr. Nuclear, Permeus, Tesvir, Zed Slayer, XX Venomous NMXX, Colgrim, Mr. Botland, Nameless Baron, Walker, Captain Vice, Roxy, Racecat, the person who put this game on the list, which is Polycos Jalou, and our majority shareholders, which are Hazardous Materials, Terwax1, SSE White Crow, Alex Korobiniki, and Shenizaga. Thank you, all of you, very, very much for making this happen and for helping me to be able to buy ice cream for my niece for lunch. So this is a bit of gaming history. Per the whims of the masses, we are actually going to go ahead and cover the original version and not the superior version. Now, I want you to think about history. History is interesting. I'm a big history geek. I pretty much always have been. Because, I don't know, it's just fascinating to me, and I love going into it. But one of the things I find is that there are certain eras of history where Ginger Ninja wants desperately to interrupt my speech and succeeds at doing so. Thank you, Ginger Ninja. I will put that towards Breath of Fire, Pokemon Arceus, and Shadows of Reloading. It's hard to, sometimes, in specific eras of history, it's not always further back either, it's just in certain specific eras, we just don't have the same kind of information. It's hard to understand even from a modern perspective, because nowadays, while there's a lot of misinformation that goes around, we also have a tremendous amount of tools at our disposal nowadays to understand why something happens or how it happened, right? We have a huge amount of resources to draw upon to figure out and dissect history. But there are certain specific gaps in time where that's not quite true. I have actually talked about this already because I've covered Star Trek. And you might think, oh, the stuff from the 60s, right? Actually, no. We have a wealth of information from the original series era, the TOS era. But early TNG was such a haphazard mess with so many people who were vying for political position and affluence, who were fighting against each other to the detriment of the historical archives, that there's actually a gap in our knowledge from about Season 1 to about Season 3 of TNG, right? Similarly speaking, there is a period of gaming history from roughly about 83 to about 85, which is just, there's not as much information about that period as I would like. Because, and it's the same reason, it's always the same reason. People weren't writing things down, we don't have a lot of receipts or information to draw from. There's just not details there. People didn't sit down and write out like a giant book detailing things recently to when the events happened, right? Stuff like that. So there's some holes in this. One of my favorite little details about this, I was doing some research about this last night. We're not even 100% sure when Super Mario Bros. Launched in the United States, like when it was released. And you might think, surely you could just Wikipedia, but no, actually, no, it's a lot more vague than you'd think. The specific launch day is something that is debatable. And people have looked into it, and to my knowledge, and I looked into this last night, we still don't actually know when this game was released in the United States. Similarly, while we have several bits of information about what all of the games that this could have been, we have a relative lack of information about the specifics of why certain things turned out the way they did. So it's just kind of like, there was a factory-sealed copy of this game that was recently auctioned for way too much money, which came out in the year of 1985, but that doesn't really help us with the date. You get the point. And I'm just mentioning that because for as extraordinarily important as this game is, most of that importance is only obvious with the advantage of hindsight and analysis. We do know a few things. Walk through me with this for a little bit. One, let's talk about genres first. Human development tends to essentially break down the further back you go, right? You have a car. Well, where did the car come from? Well, the car came from a combination of automated engines and carriages being pulled by things. Well, where do carriages come from? Well, that came from an outcropping of development of the wheel and an acknowledgement of certain levels of lubricated engineering. Well, where did that come from? Well, that came from this. And as you break it down further and further you go, the less it resembles the thing you're actually trying to define, right? That's what I mean when it breaks down. It's always fascinating to me. You know, you look at the first movies, and they barely qualify for what we would call cinema these days, but that's how that works. The further back you go, the less it is distinct of what it is. And, yeah, exactly, Gelato. Game design, of course, being a huge wheelhouse for me personally, I always find it fascinating to break down genres, because the further back we go, the less distinct genres become. We've actually talked about this several times, just this year, actually. How RPGs kind of came, in many ways, out of the outcroppings of adventure games and the original D&D stuff from the 70s, that is to say chainmails, which themselves came out of wargaming stuff, right? And just that whole line. Or the nature of how the FPS was developed, or how the nature of all that stuff. But yeah, the relevant one today is, of course, the platformer. Because back in the early 80s, gaming was in a weird space. There were several video games, and all of them were doing their own thing, but they were two categories, right? On the one side, you had the PC gaming. The phrase PC didn't exist yet, but you know what I mean, the computer gaming, right? And that stuff was obtuse as hell. Frankly, I would call that stuff bad games, but that's neither here nor there. The point being, that's the stuff that had a gigantic barrier to entry. So the only people who played those games were the people who were already interested in those games, and most of those people were either the immediate people who helped literally make those games, or like one or two off social connections from those people. So, not a really big group. Yeah, NetHack without a Talcid. Uh-huh. On the other side of... oh, yeah, and that's... sorry. I was just talking about the games themselves being obtuse. That's never mind actually having access to a computer, which can actually run the games, and then getting a hold of the games. There's no Steam. Hell, there's not even an Amazon. Generally speaking, the way you would get a hold of a game is you would actually physically have someone burn it to a frickin' disc. And of course, by a disc, I mean a diskette, a floppy. And hey, there you go. No, Leonard, I do not. But then, on the other side, you had the arcade games, which were too simple. Arcade games were way, way too simple in terms of game design. It's the kind of stuff that nowadays wouldn't even qualify as a mobile game. There's no real level design. There's no real boss encounters. There's no real variance or escalation. There's a lot of examples of this. Oh, that makes sense, Leonard. There's a lot of examples of this, but the easiest way to get across this, I feel, is to look at Space Invaders. If you're not familiar with it, don't worry about it. But if you can picture Space Invaders in your head, that's what the other side of games were. Too complicated and hard to get a hold of, giant barrier to entry. These were everywhere, but they just weren't that engaging. This was gaming for quite a while, at least 2 years, possibly longer. How long that is of course debatable, because we already talked about this. So if we rewind time back to, I believe it's 1972 was when Pong, the original Pong, first came out, which would be over here, by the way. And then you see how Pong developed, and then that birthed the Commodores and the Ataris and the Intellivisions, all the other fun stuff. And we had the big gaming boom where everybody could make a game, and it was super easy, and it caused the gaming crash because of a lot of complex reasons, which, if it's okay with you, I will not actually go into right now. Into this environment came Nintendo. Now, Nintendo had actually developed several games prior to Super Mario Bros. And, in fact, this isn't even the first Mario game. But they were pretty much the exact same as every other developer at the time. They just did whatever the hell they wanted to. They would make tech demos and concepts, and then they would sell that. And frankly, that's what most of the games were back then. I mean, even Space Invaders was something like... Hell, Pong was actually something that was originally put together on a dare in a frickin' college, right? So, all of this stuff was a thing, and Nintendo was around for quite a while. I'm not even talking about the card game thing. I'm talking just in the video game space. But when they started putting together the Famicom, and later the NES, they wanted something to put on it at launch, to be like a bit of a hook. Now, this is funny, because originally it wasn't actually bundled with the console. You bought the console, and then you bought the game separate. Bundles came later. But they wanted something to be a hook. And naturally, that game was not Super Mario Brothers, because that didn't exist. Instead, it was like 3 other games that I'm not even going to tell you the names of, because you've never heard of them. But everything I talked about that developer culture kind of came in here, because they were just throwing ideas at the wall. And while they were putting together 2 separate ideas, they kind of collided into one. One of the very common type of games back then was the shooter. The shoot 'em up, I believe, is actually what we call that nowadays. So they were thinking about having this dude, he'd be in a little plane, kind of going from left to right, and he'd shoot enemies, and they'd come from the right. And that is probably the very, very first version of Super Mario Brothers that exists, is that game. But the thing is, that was a completely separate genre. That was a combat genre at the time. And then someone else was trying to put together something based on the Mario Brothers game, which I remind you was already out, and selling very well. That's important. For those of you not familiar with Mario Brothers, that's the one with the pipes and the little enemies coming out. Again, an arcade game. And they wanted some kind of a platforming challenge there. So they were trying to put together this platformer. They're trying to put together this action game. And I don't know who had the idea first, or in what meeting it sparked, because again, lack of information. But somewhere along the line, they decided to merge these 2 into one game. They actually birthed what we now refer to as the platformer genre. Super Mario Brothers may not be literally the first platformer, but it is absolutely the codifier of the concept, because before this game, there were 2 completely separate types of genres, which this then merged into one, and that became what we now refer to as platformer. Make sense? I know I've said a lot of this all the way, by the way, because we actually already streamed this game, but I'm sure some of you haven't seen that VOD, so whatever. So they had this idea, and they're like, cool, let's put this together. They were like, all right, so the original idea was we'll have sky levels and we'll have ground levels. And in the sky levels, you'll have a gun and a plane, it'll be cool. And this should sound familiar because you've probably played Mario Land. And on the ground levels, you'll be riding around on a dinosaur the whole time, trying to eat enemies in order to progress. And that should sound familiar, because you've probably played Mario World. Obviously, neither of those ended up happening. And they had a lot of glitches and a lot of bugs, and a lot of difficulties pushing this thing together. And finally, they came up with something that was acceptable, but they ran into this really, really strange problem. Every time they tried to do something, they would fail at it. But there would be an unintentional consequence that made the game more fun because of that. And so they were like... And then they did something that most developers don't do even now. Never mind 40 years ago. They went back and they tried to reverse engineer, why is that fun? They tried to learn from it, and they tried to grow from that. And so they took a lot of those bugs and a lot of those issues and a lot of those glitches along the way, and tried to turn that into their approach to designing the level. Because please remember, there was no such thing as level design at this point in history. And they were like, okay, we got to figure this out, we got to process this, blah, 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 blah. And they were also playtesting the crap out of this game. And, yeah, literally inventing an art form. They were playtesting the crap out of this game. And they kept running into several issues. I'll point this out as we go, but one of the biggest issues they were having was tutorialization. Most arcade games are innately intuitive at the time, in the 70s, right? You're a little blip, you hit the only button you have, and a shot comes out, and the enemies are coming and they shoot at you. You don't need a manual, right? You don't need a big text box saying, you need to shoot the enemies. You can just understand that immediately. But people were looking at this game and could not figure out how to play it. And they're like, okay, so level 1 was actually built well after they had already designed most of the stages of the game. World 1-1. And they started putting together World 1 for the sole and explicit purpose of tutorializing what this type of game was. If you're paying attention, this is a guiding principle that has continued for so long that the game we just streamed, Mario 3D World, still uses that same concept. At about midway through the development, as they were putting together this game and trying to figure out how to process it, they were like, how do we put this together? How do we do this? And they kept having ideas based on Japanese mythos. You'll see a lot of that. In fact, Super Mario Bros. 1 has so little to do with the Mario series because most of it is actually based in Japanese myth. The turtle dragon, the evil sorcerer, kidnapping the pristine princess, who is the embodiment of divine purity amongst the local people, yada, yada, yada. All of that stuff's there. And if you want me to cover the story of it, I just did. But the main character wasn't Italian or a plumber or Mario. This is funny to me. It is so fascinating how history turns. Because the main character was just your bog standard Japanese myth hero type, right? The archetype. But then when they were sitting down trying to put this together and figure out what to do with it, a specific person, and I don't remember his name, I should have wrote it down, but one of the heads of development was like, hey, guys, and they're like, yeah, what's up? That Mario Brothers game is selling very well. Like, better than it should be. Really? Yeah. We should probably capitalize on that. Hang on. Actually, I think I wrote down his name. Hang on a second. Looks like I don't have it written down here. Takashi Tezuka. Excuse me. There we go. Jesus Christ. I cannot do names. Takashi Tezuka. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge this man's impact on history. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he's still doing development as recently as this year. He actually did work on Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Takeshi Tezuka, he looked at Mario Bros. And he was just like, okay, what is it about this game that's selling? What is it about this game that's really grabbing people? Because there wasn't much gameplay-wise to really differentiate it from most of the other arcade stuff at the time. And after looking into it a while, the result that they came up with was that players were associating with the believable, down-to-earth, blue-collar approach of Mario himself. Just a plumber. Just a regular old dude who's just kind of a regular... that they could imprint upon, or they could relate to, or you get it, right? And so he approached the team, especially Miyamoto in particular, and said, we need to make Mario the main character of this new headliner game. And they're like... And everyone was just like... But this was considered unusual. Obviously, sprite work wasn't exactly the best back in the day. But even if you look at the cover, like there's always like some artwork on the side of the arcade box, right? Or on the box of the floppies that you buy. Most of the artwork of the main characters of most of the games that came out were big, heroic, strong members, virile and powerful and ready to... And Mario looked like that. He really did. Like, if you see some of the original box art of Mario Brothers, he looked pretty similar to how Mario looks now. It's not that different. And that was resonating with people. So he said, we've got to connect these. We've got to put... This needs to be a sequel. That's why it's called Super Mario Brothers instead of Mario Brothers, right? He was partially inspired by Popeye, that is correct. Although I'm trying not to delve too much into that particular side path, because the relevant point here is that Mario, being the Super Mario Brothers, and the franchise that at birth really boils down to this one man and his one inference based off of that one incident. Because it wasn't just like okay, let's copy paste Mario into the existing game. They're like, okay, well now we got to adapt it. we've already got stuff we've established in the other game. Now we got to drag over some of it to this game, right? So what do? And so the Koopas got dragged over, and they started to, like, okay, well, we can't just have Koopas. Then it's just Mario Brothers again. This is a sequel. So now we got to add something like, what do we do? Wings. Well, what's a winged Koopa? We'll call it a Para-Koopa. And you get the idea. You get the idea. And so bit by bit, they dragged elements from Mario Brothers into Super Mario Brothers and established what would become the Mario franchise here. And I cannot understate the impact Super Mario Brothers has had on history. Like all of history. And you know how I like to give like one big quote that's designed to be like the back of the box thing that gets you to be like, oh my god, and people are like, oh my god. I get tons of comments about how wrong and dumb I am. Super Mario Brothers is the World War I of video gaming. Because other than obviously being a colossal sea change for history as a whole, which it is, the fact of the matter is, it was always going to happen. Everybody knew World War I was coming. Everybody knew World War I was coming. All that mattered was the specific individual thing that then sparked the incident. It could have been a number of other things. Same thing with Super Mario Brothers. There are plenty of developers who are very talented and skilled and knew what they were doing and had backing and resources. Hell, there were a lot bigger companies than Nintendo in the video gaming space back then. But Nintendo happened to be the one. So there was always going to be a Super Mario Brothers. But it happened to be Super Mario Brothers. Put this over here for a second. So this is the codifier of so many things. This has had influence on filmmaking, on game development, on general culture. This has had an influence on how people interact with each other in the school ground, off the school ground. This has had an influence on artistic culture, on sound design, on how music is approached, on how voice acting is approached. This is hard. Like I said, it's so hard to properly explain just how much of an impact this game has had, historically speaking. Thank you, internal system error. Yeah, I was gonna say, you've heard of Martinet, right? The guy who voices Mario. Do you know how much of a trailblazer that was? Think about how early on he was doing the voice of Mario. Spoilers, that was actually before 64. So, you know, there's that too. Anyways, internal system error, thank you very, very much. I will jot that down for the Orville, Talos Principle 2, and Oxford not included. So, apparently I misspoke. Let me be very clear about this. Because of Super Mario Brothers, we got Mario 64, which boosts to voice acting. Because of Super Mario Brothers, we got the development of genre development as a whole, which changed video gaming forever. Because of Super Mario Brothers, we got Nintendo, which would change the landscape of entertainment forever. Because of Super Mario Brothers, we got the very nature of trying to take their craft seriously and reverse engineer stuff, rather than to just copy-paste the same thing everyone else was doing. Now, this is the one I was trying to build up to. Yeah, because of Super Mario Brothers, we got Sonic. Really quick, I did get that anniversary sub. Thank you again, ISC. And I've already gotten that down for the 3 things. I just want to note that I did notice that was a 2-year one. Thank you very, very much. Those don't matter, Friscoborn. So, but the genre thing, I wanted to really focus in on that. There's always been crap in video games. But what most people don't really understand was how bad it was during the Atari glut, as we like to call it. It actually, we call it the Atari glut because it's convenient. Actually, Atari weren't even the worst about it, but it doesn't matter. The point being, you know what I'm talking about. The glut that led to the great video game crash. That glut was primarily caused by a lot of factors, but the biggest one, by far, was that someone would look at Space Invaders and they would say, okay, And so they would essentially make their own Space Invaders and maybe change around a couple of things. Nobody was iterating. Nobody was innovating. Nobody was reverse engineering. Nobody was designing. There were games that had literally 2-digit numbers, like over a dozen different variants and copies of it just floating around. And it was rampant. Now, I don't know how much this impacted the rest of the world, because I live here in the States. But in the States, this was a colossal problem. It led to a massive, massive loss of faith in the entire video gaming industry. It also pretty much directly led to the idea that video games were only for children. I don't want to get into that particular thing, but that was part of the consequence of that too. But the thing that Super Mario Brothers did, and if you're paying attention, I've already told you about it, is they actually bothered to sit and think and process and design. They stumbled into something, and then rather than just releasing that, which would have been the norm, they decided to sit and think and process, bring it into the meeting room and say, okay, why did this work? How did this work? How do we repeat it? How do we iterate upon it? And this is why Nintendo is still Nintendo. Now, I'd like to say that became the norm, but, you know, AAA games. Anyways. Let's make a Fortnite clone. Yeah, I don't want to touch the arcade history, because arcade history is its own thing. The arcade scene was its own scene right now. So, yeah. Let's kill the amazing music. I'm predicting 7 trillion deaths and a cheat flag for this game. Because this game kind of sucks, to be totally honest with you. And, I'm not exactly great at it. So, we're already going to pause before we hit that iconic music. This screen is honestly kind of brilliant in its own right. So, first of all, cloud, hill, trees, bricks. I know this is so caveman. This is so Cro-Magnon when it comes to it, but this is absolutely brickwork. This is I'm not sure if this is the first iteration of what I now call brickwork, but it's kind of the first. If it's not the first, then it's within like the top 10 of the first times that a video game ever actually bothered to do something like brickwork. And for those of you not familiar with the concept, brickwork is a narrative thing. Brickwork is over on the story axis. It's there to sell the scene. It's there to try and indicate the idea of where you are and what you're doing, adding context to the gameplay. An extraordinary quantity of older games, including NES games or Famicom games, but especially in the arcade scene, were like black backdrop or occasionally stars, and then a couple of pixels to indicate, you know, you, and a couple of different pixels, usually different color, to get the enemy. And that's kind of it. Like, that's sort of all they did. I've talked many times about the Black Void, and I kind of hate the Black Void. It was very, very common back in the day. A lot of early NES games still used the Black Void concept. And the reason it's the Black Void is because there's nothing there. There's actually nothing being presented. Yeah, it's easy to think about what Mario would be like if it were a typical game. All you have to do... I should have thrown together a Photoshop of this. All you have to do, make the blue black... Get rid of the cloud, get rid of the bushes, and get rid of the hill. And that would be every other platform. Excuse me, platform. They didn't have platformers. That'd be every other arcade game back in the day, right? That's what they looked like. That's how that worked. So, right off the bat, boom. But then... Okay, you're trying to get used to the controls. Can't go left. The mere fact that we can't go left is it's hard to really explain this to people who weren't born in the 80s, but a game that had more than one screen was legitimately considered somewhat innovative back then. Most games existed on a single screen. Either there was the interface screen for like the computer game stuff, or there was like the one panel, and like a Pac-Man, right? You stay within the screen until you finish the thing, then it wipes it away, and then it brings in a new maze, and then you do the new maze. But it's always one screen. So scrolling to the left was kind of like, but in the off chance you decide to go left, you can't. Okay, cool. But if you go to the right, okay. Now, you notice we only went to the right a little bit, but you notice how right off the bat, the game is like, okay, we need players to understand they cannot go left, but they can scroll the screen. So you'll notice that the entire... Exactly, She-Holly. We'll talk about that when we get to the Metroid block. The entire first screen is completely safe other than the timer. There's nothing that can hurt you. There's no pits, there's no enemies, there's no obstacles, there is nothing. Now, believe it or not, this is actually one of the earliest examples of gaming friction that I've ever encountered. Friction is the stuff that the game does to resist your desire to play the game. It's good friction is something that encourages you, the player, to do something. Like a Dark Souls boss having a gigantic hit that goes like this. And so you can't actually dodge roll out of the way, but you can parry it. You know, that's the kind of thing that would be considered gaming friction, right? So there's nothing whatsoever on the first screen. So the player is encouraged by, if nothing else, sheer boredom to go ahead and move forwards. The moment we move forwards, two things happen. First, our first enemy shows up. Now, if we just sit here and let him hit us, then we die. We can jump over him, or we can jump on him. Most likely, a new player is probably going to jump over him, because they're going to be mashing the buttons, and they're going to see this button. By sheer virtue of mashing, they're probably going to figure out that they can vary their jump height by how long they hold down the button. So we're up to 4 points of tutorialization immediately. But then we got this thing. It's animated. It is one of the only things that's animated on the entire screen. So it's like, okay, what's this? So we try to interact with it, and it's like, okay, well, we can't do anything with it. It doesn't seem to be doing anything. And at some point or another, by sheer accident, that's going to happen. I know the timer's animated. Hang on, I need to shoot Yura for being a technically... Alright, Yura's dead. So, now that Yura is dead... Hang on, let's display Yura's corpse. It's a warning. There we go. So, okay, our eyes are drawn immediately to... to the question blocks. So we figure out, by coincidence, how to interact with those. But then we see question blocks amongst the other blocks. And it's like, okay, well, now what? That doesn't do anything. But it gets us into the idea that those block progress. Now, it's actually really likely to get this first power-up. Unfortunately, I can't show why, because I'm going a little bit... This is funny. I'm actually going too fast for my own discussion. The reason for these blocks to be here is because, statistically speaking, a brand new player who's being introduced to video games is probably going to try to jump over the mushroom. And because of this little spot, it is very unlikely they're going to succeed at it, especially since they're small, and that's why Small Mario bounces off of the bricks. That's the reason for that. So Small Mario is going to bounce off of that and very likely not successfully jump over. Now, you can jump over it. It's actually, relatively easy to do if you know what you're doing. But if you're playing a game for the very, very first time, or a Mario for the very, very first time, and you're like, ugh, you're probably going to stumble right into it. And now we know that there's different types of things, and we are now introduced to the concept of a power-up. And then, if we try to jump again, especially by flailing, we break the bricks. So now we have, God, this is like 10 things here. I know, right, Frisco Born? I know. So we've got the concept of the scrolling screen, the nature of jumping, the nature of enemies, how to interact with question blocks, how to interact with basic blocks, and the concept of pickups. All of that has been tutorialized just with the level design in the first 2 screens. Forgive me for sitting here and gushing, but, I mean, this is literally gaming history. What the hell do you want from me? Now, I'm going to do a save state here really quick, because I want to show you something. Now, I know my longtime viewers have actually heard this story before. There I am, sitting in the apartment. We're like 100 feet off of I-5. This is down in Carlsbad. And I'm sitting here, and just kind of trying to figure out this game. This is the first time I've played a game like this. And just like everything I just described to you, this game is just bonkers. Like, Dad had been playing games for a while, but he'd been in the arcade scene primarily, right? And I'd been playing games, but I was also pretty much in the arcade scene. So this was a paradigm shift. It was a brand new concept. And so we get to here. Now, I'd already figured out moving, and I'd already figured out jumping. But little, I guess 3 or 4-year-old me, however old I was at this point in history, it wasn't even our NES, it was a friend of his, could not figure out how to jump and move at the same time. So we're sitting here, frantically mashing on the controller, trying to get over this thing, and then... So I haven't always been good at video games, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, here, I can kind of show this off here. Let's try to dodge over this thing. It's like, oh god, ugh. You see that angle? Almost right into it. So, notice how each of these pipes is designed to be a little bit harder to jump over. If you do a standard hop, you cannot get over this one. You could barely get over this one. But you cannot get over this one. You have to learn how to hold down that button in order to get over this one. So the tutorialization continues. They're trying to get you into that idea. It's like, okay, so we figured out how to do the long thing. Decades of practice. Oh, sorry. That's not what I thought you said. Anyways, so it's like, okay. Gonna go ahead. Oh, it's moved. No, it's different on this version. I'm not actually that familiar with the original, if I'm being completely honest. I'm more used to the All-Stars version. So our first death pit. And so now we understand the concept of instant death. And... nothing. Oh, but that's strange. And it's giving me multiple coins. Well, that's cool. And coins, of course, give us lives in this version. That's what they're useful for. Oh, what's this do? Oh, I look kind of weird. Oh, crap! Enemies are coming after me. What do I do? Oh, that's how that power-up works. And you see how, once again, they're actually tutorializing the very nature of how power-ups work. In fact, they reward you if you figure out how to jump up and then jump up again with this sucker. The Fire Flower was considered incredibly overpowered back in the day. It was actually funny to think about with modern perspective. The Fire Flower was, yep, I have brought it to bear. Oh no, I'm the same way, Frisco. Or was the same way, I should say. Anyways, at the end of all that, we do have one little jump up here. And our first flag, which they had a tremendous amount of technical issues even getting this thing working at all. We did it. 1-1. I don't know what else to add to that. I believe the idea for the fireballs was specifically, they were trying to get away from the ideas of this being a standard shooter. Because if you press, shoot in a standard game, the shot goes straight out from wherever you are, right? Like, think about any of the old shoot-em-ups or even something more modern like Galaga, right? Just straight shot through. So they wanted to get across the idea that this was not a shoot-em-up. And so, bounce, bounce, bounce. It's also why there can only be 2 of them on the screen at the time, because part of the game's hardware is tracking the movement and pattern of those, especially since, they can bounce on the ground, but not on the wall. That would be added later. So, I do think it is within reasonability to give a plus to tutorialization for that insanity. 1-1 is honestly legitimately brilliant. There's a reason I could spend 15 minutes discussing a stage that would take me like 20 seconds to run through. Oh yeah, also, did you notice that they had a cutscene there? Yes, this is textbook. Obviously, later Mario games, including Mario World, actually, would have even better tutorialization than this, but this is the beginnings of what gameplay tutorialization should be. I know games that came out this year that do not have as good of tutorialization as what we just saw. One of them is called Warcraft Rumble. Anyways, so hang on. I need to double check something really quick with my capturing. Yep, we're okay. Cool. We're cool. We're cool. All right. All right, clip everything I just said. All the last 40 minutes. That's the highlight reel. I didn't know that one, Friskborn. I knew that the main Mario theme was inspired by some pop song. Note, inspired not copied by. But yeah, I didn't know that this was... God, wow. It's actually funny, because Koji Kondo really is legitimately brilliant of a musician. I've talked about this before, and he deserves all the praise. But it really is funny how much of his original music is just taken off of popular media at the time. Popular music. So anyways, one of those glitches I mentioned earlier led to stuff like this. So they decided to take this and run with it, because of course they did. I don't remember, Mr. Baron. And the idea of adding secrets to the stage wasn't exactly uncommon at the time. But at the same time, they obviously... This was still kind of a new thing. Yeah, these were very early secrets. And I kind of screwed up, and unfortunately, if we were playing the SNES version, which I blame all of you for the fact that we're not playing, and then I could actually demonstrate what I was going to show off, but instead we're just going to sit here and let the timer run out. There we go. So, you notice we have mid-mission checkpoints. Did you catch that? Nothing indicates them, but they are there. Most stages have one mid-mission checkpoint. Generally about halfway through the stage. What I wanted to point out is this right here. By this point, we've gotten into, like, what was at the time considered serious platforming. And there's that up there, and it's just calling to the player. I don't know about you guys, I discovered this particular secret completely on my own. Just because, like, I'm not bragging. It's more like they did a good enough job to indicate that those warp pipes are there. Because you look at that like, I feel like I could get up there. Because you'll notice the platforms go above the brick line. Do you see that? So you think, well, if something can go above that, that means that's not just interface up there. And if that's not just interface, right, like you see the logic chain there. So now we know that secrets exist. Oh god, the hitboxes in the original are just silly. Now, this is a good time as any to mention something else, which probably deserves a negative. I've actually already explained it to you guys because we've played several Mario games before. That is the concept of the squiggity. The squiggity is the momentum that Mario puts in when... Jesus Christ, come on. That Mario has before he stops. I should also mention that this is before Coyote Time was even invented. So, if you go over the edge by 1 pixel too far, you fall. And that's it. Also, we have 3 lives. And some limitations on continuing. So let's grab this, because we need it. Oh yeah, there's that dynamic power-up thing. I guess it really does go all the way back to 1. If you are small, it's a mushroom. If you are big, it's a flower. Did you notice they give you several enemies just to indicate that kind of thing? Do you notice they give you a tutorial jump over a pit before they give you a real jump over a pit? Just all kinds of stuff in this stage. 1-1 is just brilliant. You know, I'm not actually sure. And we will test that, Roxy. Because I think it's the whole game, but we'll test it. We'll test it. Points do not matter at all. That's artifact design. Points were pretty common in the arcade verse because people like to put in their initials to be like, hey, I did this. The originations of competitive versus multiplayer game in gaming design. Yeah, the only thing that matters in this game is the coins and the power-ups. Coins give you lives, power-ups are obvious. Yeah, Mega Man 1 also has points, and they are just as worthless there. I should also mention that the way momentum works in this game is what I can only refer to as wrong. Like, seriously, every Mario game is a little squiggity. Mario 1 is its own field. You're basically jumping around in water. Anyways, so the squiggity, and while we're at it, the physics in general, and the total absence of Howdy Time, or any other of what I nowadays refer to as the interpretive layer. There was no interpretive layer. There was just, oh, you screwed up, you're dead. And, well, as I've said many times, there's a reason the interpretive layer of a platformer is what I would refer to as mandatory in a modern platformer. Physics are also changed if you're on a moving platform. That is correct, Blade12. That's actually a thing they carried into the future games as well. As with so many other things, it was actually a programming glitch that they decided to take and run with. So anyways, I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna be really, really honest about that. I'm not that particularly good at this game. I have never really spent the time and effort to practice it. And I just lost my OBS connection. So that's cool. What's funny is I can still see chat. So hang on, I need to come up with something like super secret to tell people. Let's see, what's like the most super secret-y thing I could tell people? You know what? Actually, I do have a super secret thing I can tell people. So if you're watching the VOD right now, first of all, you're awesome. Thank you for actually watching these VODs. I put a lot of time and effort into uploading these suckers and making the thumbnails and lining them up and doing the playlist, all that fun stuff. But thank you for watching the VODs. But second of all, I don't actually like this game that much. I never did. And there's your big off-stream thing. So, first Bowser stage. Immediate tile change. So the tiles change. We see the lava down there. It's like, oh god, what is that? We see our first block that's like, oh my god, what do I do here? And then we've got our first lava block. And then we die to it. Naturally. And then we start over from the beginning. So this is Super Mario Brothers. Yes, I'm well aware, Justin. I was talking to the VOD watchers. Which you exist, right? Right? Somebody watches this on the VOD? Please tell me somebody's watching this. Nobody's actually watching this. Nobody gives a damn. They can look at that and be like, that's not an RPG, and we only watch the lore runner for the lore. Nobody cares about the games. Nobody cares about the gameplay or massively important elements to gaming history and cultural history as a whole. So this is World War 1-1, as you can see. It's a little bit of a tutorialization thing. This game is woke! Because I have no idea why. Oh yeah, this is a good time as any to mention that the manual for this game was bonkers. Like, just completely no, that's not Mario lore. Do not even try to pretend that the manual of Mario Bros. 1 is anything approaching canon. That is a load of nonsense down there. Oh yeah, I should mention, I actually did discover this secret right here naturally as a direct consequence of discovering this secret. Because I was like, well, if I can get up there, what about at the beginning of this place? It's like, aha. And then the secret hunt was on. I knew it, Blue Fusion Bolt. You secretly hate me. It's okay, I don't mind. We're gonna start save stating. No reason. We're also going to start using we're gonna put up the cheat flag. Because we're beating this game today. And I'm just gonna be extremely honest with you. The only way that's happening is if we cheat. Yeah, there's a concept called early installment weirdness. It usually happens when someone isn't intending to set up a franchise. But then they do. Whoops! Some people can beat this game in 5 minutes. They've probably played it recently. Someone do me a favor. Look up the archives for when we last reviewed this game. It's been a minute. I have beaten this game on the NES without cheating. Once. Actually, yeah, Lord Harriman. Remember how we talked about both 2 and Inquisition? Retconned a bunch of stuff? And that's ignoring how, like, magic and healing and a bunch of other mechanics kind of stuff work completely different. Listen, I know I'm great at video games. I ain't that good. So I'm going to specifically try to kill Bowser with that so you can see that Goomba. Do you see that? That is yet another example of a glitch that was then taken and run with. I actually pointed this out during the Mario 3D Land run. The original idea was that 7 of the 8 Bowser fights are illusions. They're actually minions of Bowser who have been illusionaried by the dark, evil sorcerer Bowser in order to look like him. And then when you get to World 8, you actually find Bowser himself. The number of people I know who never actually knew that is kind of high. But the reason why is because when they were programming the Bowser fight, they had to program in if he would take damage from, you know, fireballs. Any enemy that takes damage, you notice they have that upside-down sprite? So they had to assign an upside-down sprite to Bowser if you happen to kill him with fire flowers. So the programming artist actually assigned the Koopa shell to him, as if he was a Koopa. And then one of the playtesters noticed that and was like, that's a cool idea. We should run with it. And so they ran with it. And so every single Bowser from 1 to 7 is actually a completely different, enemy. To indicate that he has forced his minions to stand in his place and suffer Mario's wrath. They're just in a Bowser costume. I like that. No, it wasn't originally intentional, because it was a glitch. But then they took it and ran with it, so it wasn't a glitch. Honestly, half this game was originally a glitch. Honestly, actually, probably more than half of the game. Like this! This probably doesn't look familiar to any of you who were born after, you know, the 90s. But the reason for this whole sequence... So this probably does look at least a little bit familiar to some of you, because you've probably played a game called Helicopter. For you youngins, that might be more relatable if you look at it in terms of a game called Flappy Bird. This is most of the original shoot-'em-up engine still left in the game. You'll notice that the enemies are designed to be obstacles that can be shot out of the way. In fact, from what I can garner, asterisk, the Fire Flower actually originally came from the weapon, which was, at several points in history, a machine gun and a bazooka, which you could then use in that stage. But of course, at that point in the game's development, it could just shoot straight forward, which is probably why so many of the enemies show up at the top end of the screen and go in a straight line directly towards you, which is actually not conducive to the actual Fire Flower's arc, but we already talked about why they changed the arc of the Fire Flower. And yeah, Gradius came out this year. Someone pointed that out in chat earlier. To get a little bit of perspective why they would want to make sure to get that distinction there. You really got to remember, marketing was just kind of different back then. There weren't really a lot of TV commercials for video games, especially in the wake of the video game crash. And so most of it was sitting down and playing the game yourself, or watching your friends play the video game, or them talking to you about it. No, I did not, Zachtev. That's pretty cool, though, Zachtev. I don't have any questions for him. But if you have any questions, you should ask him. Honestly, at this point, they didn't even really have magazines in the sense that we do nowadays. Hell, Nintendo Power got started with Super Mario Bros. 2, after Nintendo already got their shot in the arm with this very game. Mario cannot be impaled by the pole, despite what Dorkly would have you believe. Yes, I watched Dorkly, shut up. Only sometimes. Sometimes they're funny. Sometimes they're not funny. Oh god, yeah. 80s video game commercials were just something else. So I'm actually going to save state just because I want to show something off. I don't want to screw it up. There, see? Koopa Shell that time. The NES was still the answer to that column, so the NES was designed around the 60 FPS, and usually managed it. Oh god, the original Mario thing. So now it's nighttime. Notice we've still got the sky, and God, I'm trying to remember. Hang on. Yeah, kids being blown away by video games, and the grandma. Oh my god, the grandma. The Metroid commercials. I need to double check something. Let me make sure that I am correct about something. Nope, I'm right. So, something I've actually talked about. Yeah, the Square nerdy parents. Yeah. Something I've talked about before. Most people didn't even notice this, including me, I'm going to go ahead and admit to this. I never noticed this until it was pointed out to me. But in the original Super Mario Brothers, there's a day-night cycle. You have a couple stages as day, then a couple stages as night, then it's day again, and then night, and then day. It's like 3 days total to go rescue the princess. That was deliberate. By everything I've been able to read, that was something they intentionally put in to try and indicate the passage of time as you were going throughout the course of the game. So this is actually supposed to be nighttime. Now, if you're familiar with the SNES version of this game, let me actually verify that. Nope, yep. If you're familiar with the SNES version of the game, you know what I'm talking about because, and I'm trying to figure out a quick and easy way to grab this. To just show on screen really quick. Come on. Oh my god, this damn game. Yeah, there's a narrative here. It's not much. Not gonna lie to you. But it's there. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So when they remade this game, remastered this game, this is what the SNES version looks like. Same stage, 3-1. Wild, huh? Like I said, I never realized that. I completely never realized that. Now, yeah, they actually did add stuff like snow, and there's a couple of other things to indicate, like moving through different biomes, but obviously their palette, their tile set, was a little bit limited back in the day. Is Luigi in this game? Yes, actually. Luigi is in this game. He is playable in the way that most old games do co-op, aka one person plays and then the other person plays. Which is why this game will be getting absolutely no positives for co-op, because that's not what co-op means. Honestly, I believe the first Mario game that would get a co-op positive at all. Damn it. Yeah, okay, I'll live with that. would be, New Wii, I think? Jesus. That's pretty recent. Yeah, that was... Yeah, let's be honest. It was Versus. It's really funny to me. Can I rant for 1 second? It's all the way back in the day, which is a Tuesday. By the way, I've never gotten this trick off correctly ever in my life. The infinite lives glitch. Anyways, so something I am fond of saying is that a lot of games are ruined by the developer's insistence on balancing the game around PvE and PvP simultaneously, which I always think is a mistake. We actually talked about that in StarCraft 2, how they bypassed that mistake. But in StarCraft 1, they absolutely made that exact same issue, right? And World of Warcraft is obviously a rather famous example thereof. What the hell, game? So, anyways, obviously there were issues with getting 2 players on the screen simultaneously with the NES because the NES is the NES. But there were still efforts to try and design several of these games, up to and including Mario 3, around the idea of competitive multiplayer. How many of you, we'll talk about when we get to Mario 3 specifically, but how many of you have memories of the other player popping into the versus mode and just trying to steal all your cards? Well, part of the problem, Mr. Red, and you gotta think of this from the historical perspective. Part of the problem is, back in the day, there wasn't really content in games. That's why Super Mario Bros. Was so unique, was because it had levels, it had design, it had actual, what we would nowadays refer to as PvE content. Most arcade games, most of the games that predated this, didn't really have PvE content in the strictest sense of the word. What they had was a score screen. You just play forever, because most arcade games... I keep saying arcade. I don't just mean the ones in the arcade. I'm just saying the arcade style of games. So most of the arcade style of games didn't really end. You just play it until you died. And so it became a competitive thing. And that was the content. The only content. So competitive versus was the only thing to do in most of those games. So a lot of game designers, when they were drifting into the NES era, kind of came at it from that mindset. It's also related to why things like live systems exist, because live systems are there to rip coins out of players' pockets. And yeah, again, I'm trying not to get too much into the actual arcade scene, Frisco-born. Just talking about, like, the arcade style of game, not arcades, which I know is completely contradictory, and I don't care! I don't care! I don't have a better term! What do you all have for me? It's how I usually hear it referred to as, too. Oh, that's just mean. Okay. I should mention the hurt boxes in this game are absolutely stupid. They're either much, much smaller than they look, or, contrarily, much, much larger. And there's nothing in between. They're just wrong. And this one is a bullet beetle. Oh my god. It's the beetle guy. I can't think of his friggin' name. Fuzzy. Fuzzy? Fuzzy Beetle. Beetle Man. It's fair, Frisco. I'm the one using the wrong terminology. So originally in the game, you could actually pick up Spinies and throw them as a weapon. Hell, there's even code still in the game that supports that, and with the right Game Genie setup, you can actually get that going and just be like, hey, bzz. Ow. That sucks. I suppose it's a good time I need to mention about the fact that if you get hit at any point in time, it's actually really punishing. You only ever, at absolute most, have 2 HP. And you don't just lose your HP, you lose your functionality if you get hit. If that sounds familiar, then congratulations. You've played shoot-'em-ups before. That's a good point, Blue Fusion Bolt. Damn it, Roxy. Notice how they give you an area to jump into, and then ways to recover. I'm probably going to give this game an itemization positive. I am not going to give it a positive for kit, because there really is none. There are a grand total of 3 power-ups in this game. Total. And that's being a little bit generous, if we're being honest with ourselves. Oh, I know, Juliet. Oh, great. I looked away from the screen for a second there. Are there secrets? Yeah, I actually just passed a secret, which I deliberately didn't get. Hang on, I think I made a save. I'll try to show it off really quick here. Hang on, that doesn't count. I'm just showing something off. Showing something. Jesus Christ, of course. Now I can't make a very, very basic jump. Hang on. There we go. Oh my god. Ah! Let me in! There we go. See? Secrets. I mean, 70s were the pastel beige era for a reason. So, hey, look, secret. That's just coins. You're like, what's good as coins? Well, remember, coins are lives. Also, there's a warp level to level 8. Anyways, so, obviously we're not doing that. So back here in the present. Yeah, anybody paying attention could probably see the bones of every Mario game ever made here. There are 32 stages? Does that sound right? What's 16 times 2? No, 32. I'm right. Stop questioning yourself, Lore. So yeah, 32 stages. 1-1 through 8-4. Jeez, this stage. This is one of those harder than it looks stages. You notice it's also one of our first theme stages. Oh god. Wood paneling was just such a thing in the 70s. My TV, which I had until like... God, like 92, was one of those ones with the giant wood siding on both sides. You know, like 3 people in chat are like, I know what that's like! And everyone else is like, why would you have wood on a television? Yes, Random Heroes. Karibo's shoe in 5-something. 5-3, I want to say? I mean, Karibo's shoe is awesome. I kind of wish they would do more with it. But, you know, whatever. Hey, this looks familiar. Huh. Oh well. Hey, this looks familiar. Huh. Oh well. Hey, this looks familiar. Yeah, okay, so. Mazes. pretty much just straight up trial and error. I wish I had the power-up. So if you don't have the Fire Flower, you have to do this to kill him. That is much harder than it sounds in the later ones when he starts throwing, like, hammers and fireballs all over the place at you. They actually rebalanced the Bowser fights in the All-Stars version. Which ones use hammers and which ones use fireballs and which ones use both is actually changed in that version. Cannot actually pick up something. That would be an innovation added in Mario 3. But as you can see, getting enough things in a row still counts as a 1-up all the way back to the original. To my knowledge, that was not a glitch. You know, it was a glitch. Killing enemies while being invincible. Miyamoto never intended this. This is against his very vision of what it means to be a Mario brother. Such senseless destruction. Since needless violence. It can all be solved if you just make a contract with me and become a magical girl. There are no Mario sisters, although there is Giuseppe. That's a good point. We can't shoot Cube. That's another joke. I'm just dropping jokes all over the place here. And I'm not going to explain any of those references, because that's not how referential humor works. You never explain the reference. People who get it, and people who don't, don't. Now that works. We're actually doing better than I thought I would, which means I have just cursed myself horribly by even saying that. As I said before, I suck at this game. And I haven't played it in 4 years, as Mr. Red was able to elucidate upon earlier. We're probably actually dead here, so I'm going to go ahead and reserve the right to load state in a minute, and that'll be our cheat flag, and I'm okay with that. That's life. We're just going to live with that. We're just going to throw up the cheat flag. Yeah, Hammer Brothers are Hammer Brothers. Did you see that hit me despite actually not being up in the panel I was? Like I think I already mentioned, the hurt boxes are a little wonky in this entire game. Everything. It's either too much or too little, and nothing in between. Yeah, I'll take Lakitus over Hammer Brothers any day. You notice Hammer Brothers only show up as of World 5, which means, well, 5/8 of the way through the game is when you start to actually encounter arguably the deadliest enemy in said game. Which makes sense. I should probably mention, though, that there's no real escalation past that. Hammer Brothers are kind of the peak. Hey, Czar. Yes, Frisco Born. But only if it actually deliberately was a parody. So now we've just got a level where there's just bullet bills. They're just shooting bullet bills at us. That's just our lives now. One thing I find that helps me to play Mario 1 a little bit better is to treat everything like it's sacred. Which I know sounds like a strange statement, but it's kind of antithetical to how most Mario games are designed. Every coin is significant, and every power-up is something you want. Because otherwise, you go back to 1-1. So anyways, as I was saying, this is stage 1-1. They do a lot of brilliant tutorialization in this. They encourage you to jump higher. This is when they first introduce secrets. Right about here. We got our first power-up here. Listen, nobody needs save states. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. start pauses the game. To my knowledge, select does nothing, as you can see down there in the lower left. I actually do have a plan. But the game doesn't get credit for the code, because nothing in the game indicates the code. To my knowledge. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but we are reviewing this version of the game. I should mention that the way the game handles lives and continues is completely different in the All-Stars version of this game. The SNES one. So that's a negative, which I am going to give this game, which the All-Stars version would not get. I am using a PS3 controller, Random Heroes. Pretty much my norm for anything on the PC. Yeah, so, you already know where we were going with this. I want to say it's 4? It's 3 or 4. Yeah, it is 4. I'm right. It's been a little while since I've done the warp chain. There's actually a glitch. Because it's the 3rd best controller ever made, Random Heroes? For me, obviously. Anyways, yeah, treat every coin as if it's sacred, because there is a severe scarcity problem in this game. There is not a lot of coins, there are not a lot of power-ups, and there are very few 1-ups. And you need all of those to get to the end. Because as we just demonstrated, unless there's something in the game that I don't know about, nothing tells you about that. So you see this thing right here? You know what a multi-coin block is. You probably don't even know there's a frickin' phrase for that. What you don't know is that that was a glitch. Like about half of this frickin' game. The blocks were not supposed to keep giving coins. They were supposed to give you 1 coin. Is Mario's sprite a glitch? Believe it or not, no. I know that's shocking, because everything else in this game's a glitch. But yeah, the dev team really liked the idea of being rewarded to get coins, and there was already like an audio and visual feedback thing for getting coins. They're like, you know what? Sure. So glitch were codified. Actually, question mine is off, because I forgot to turn them back on after the break. There we go. So, is it a major setback for gaming? I actually do think, yes, that was a major setback for gaming. And I can explain why very, very simply. Oh, I think I screwed this up, didn't I? Yeah, okay, shoot. Alright, whatever. The reason why I think that's a setback for gaming is because how many games have you seen come out with the Nemesis system since then? We'll just do this. So anyways, so 5-1 is when we first really start to see the ramping up of enemies. We see Bullet Bills, we see Hammer Brothers. I mean, Warner Brothers putting out garbage doesn't exactly surprise me because it's Warner Brothers. But, yeah, no, I can think of a lot of different games, of different genres, excuse me. I can think of a lot of different genres that could absolutely benefit from something like the Nemesis system. That never will, because it's patented. So, that's cool. I don't like that happened. That's actually really bad. Yeah, Mega Man with the Nemesis system. How about Sim City with the Nemesis system? There's one specific city that just kind of keeps getting better and better as you defeat it. Yeah, Ace Combat with the aces. Absolutely. Yeah, hitboxes are wrong. Yeah, you could base a Pokemon game around it. You know how the rival just kind of gets a better team over time? What if they got a better team based on you? And based on how you beat them? Oh yeah, Star Wars? Absolutely. That's actually just straight up my fault. Okay, whatever. But yeah, like the bounty hunting, just build for it, honestly. Yeah, let's exploit a glitch really quick here. I will admit ignorance on that Blue Fusion Volt. So I don't know. That's true, Lord Aramon. And started a bit of a trend. And then they later did something where your rival in, I forget which, I want to say it's in Gen 9, is like, oh yeah, no, I could totally do this. And picks the Pokemon that is actually weak to your type because they suck, and that's the point. I could really use an extra life right about now. So I'm gonna casual mode this a little bit. How many of you noticed that this is actually the same layout as an earlier stage? No judgment, there's a lot of asset reuse in this game. They were inventing gaming. I'm willing to give them a bit of a pass on that. Dark Souls. Okay, Dark Souls doesn't need a Nemesis system, I don't think. Holy crap. So we're getting a little bit meaner. Okay, yeah, we're not even gonna try that. It's just bait anyways. I think it's the first instance of bait in gaming, too. I'm probably wrong. There's probably some other... What was that?! Like, it was like, no, hang on. Hang on. Okay, now spawn. Need you to move. Oh, come on. Yeah, I was thinking of Hop, because Hop sucks. Yes, that's... what? Pancakes? Everyone, Pancakes is confusing me. Why would you do this, Pancakes? We're gonna have to redo the entire game because of you. God damn it. This is all Pancakes' fault. He's just trying to lower the score so that his guess is accurate. I knew it! Anyways, this is a lot of what the nest block is gonna look like, by the way. Well, that wasn't it. I don't remember what the button is. So anyways, this is 1-1. This is the first stage, and they're trying to learn how gaming works. There's some good there's coins down here. Which is funny, because this is objectively worse than going up. Because up gets you a straight up 1-up, and this just gets you a handful of coins. What genre can be improved with Nemesis systems? Everything I just mentioned, Friscoborn. City Builder, Flight Sim, or Arcade Flight Sim, platformers, Dark Souls, or Souls-likes, I guess. Everything. Just straight up everything. I challenge you to think of a game that would not be improved with the Nemesis system. And I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, dating sim. And you're wrong, because even a dating sim would be improved with a Nemesis system. Think about it. I mentioned there's a lot of, like, side stuff in this game. I think I mentioned about that a few times. One of the things I used to like to do is I used to go through this exact stage and just kill absolutely everything. Just murder them all. Or I mean the blocks, not the people. Obviously, I would never hurt people. Did you notice, by the way, that the Fire Flower only put me up to Big Mario? That's because power-ups don't technically exist in the way you think they do. The visual that shows up is determined by your state when they spawn, but what they do determines on your state when you pick them up. You either go up a step, or you go down a step. That's it. So, we went up a step from Small Mario. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, exactly, Geludo. Ah! Oh, okay. MMOs. No, Nemesis in MMOs are just other players. Or if you're playing EVE Online, an entire company of other players. Come here. Frickin' Lakitu. What's a freeform sandbox game? Like, I'm blanking on what that genre even is. Help me out here. Yeah, I'm telling you, RTS games, grid-based tactical games. Listen, we all know the players that play EVE are horrifically, nightmarishly evil. We get it. Minecraft? How would a Nemesis system work in Minecraft? Let me think about that for a second. I knew it, Kira White Noise! You were the one who started EVE Online. Like, the whole game. That was you. This time. Actually, you know, honestly, I could see a Nemesis system working for Minecraft if you're playing on survival mode. Imagine zombies and creepers and the dozens of enemies that exist in that game that I don't know the names of getting better because of how you kill them. God damn it, that was just a double fail and I got lucky. God, yeah, Enderman. The giant fireball-spitting ghosts. We haven't even made it to 6-1 yet, have we? I am so terrible at this game. Oh yeah, I don't even want to talk about, like, how extremely terrible the frickin' springboard physics are in this game. Don't worry. We'll get to talk about them a lot in the next game, which we're not playing today, no matter how fast we go through this, or slow. Notice that's 3 separate power-ups in one stage. Just remember that for a moment, because when we get to World 8, you're going to understand why this game sucks. Like, we talk about difficulty curve in a lot in games, and stages World 1 through 3 are a pretty smooth curve upwards. Then you hit World 4, and it starts, like, just taking off the gloves. And then you hit World 5. I know people who've never actually gotten past World 5 without using warps. In fact, if you feel like ousting yourself, please feel free to do so in the chat right now. Have you gotten past World 5 without cheats? Without warps, I guess is what I really mean. So without warps and cheats. Now, we haven't thrown out the cheat flag yet. Kinda want to go for that, but at the same time, I remember what it took the one and only time I've beaten this game without warps and without cheats. And I'll give you a hint. What it took was time. It was on an original NES, obviously. And it just meant dedicating an entire afternoon, and then evening, to beating the game. Just grinding face on it. I'm pretty sure at least half of that time, and that's not an exaggeration, was spent in World 8. Jesus Christ, what was that? I don't even know what that was. Could be, Roxy. I don't know. I think it's a little bit more likely that they just didn't know what design was because they were inventing it for, I don't want to say the first time, but most of the people working on this game hadn't designed design yet. So it was new to them, right? Okay, so we're up to World 6. We did it. We have successfully hit 6 without cheating. So, now it's nighttime again. Oh, this isn't too bad. There's just a Lakitu. And a lot of platforming. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. There's just a guy trying to snipe me while I'm trying to get through a stage. It's cool. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. Leave behind the coins. Leave the dead where they lay. Notice the theming is really coming into this one. Each one of those jumps was actually the previous jump with one additional layer on top of it. Yeah, exactly. This is actually an extremely short game, if you're good at it. You can, I mean, ignore speedrunners for a second. Even someone who's reasonably competent with this game can just smash through it in like 20 minutes. But, most players playing it for the first time, it took a little longer than that. I don't know the exact amount of time it took me to finally reach the point where I could beat this game. I'll give you a hint. It was so long that, I had moved twice, and my dad had moved once before I finally beat this game. And I had owned it for a while, too. Yeah, blockbuster difficulty, which is a real thing, by the way. There are, for those of you not aware, back in the rental era, several developers have admitted, have gone live on interviews saying, yeah, we made our games harder specifically to make them rent for longer. And yeah, the real problem is, as long as you've got Fireflower, you're actually pretty decent. You've got a lot of tools for dealing with problems as long as you have the Fireflower. You can take a hit, which may not sound like a big deal, but being able to take a hit is actually a pretty big deal in this game. And you have a projectile, which can deal with enemies before they can reach you. I know, Frisco-born. So, cool. It's a bit of a game changer. The moment you get on to Big Mario, that changes. It's like, And then when you go from Big Mario down to Small Mario, it's like, oh god, 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 oh god. And, yeah. You know what? You know what? Nope. 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 We're just not even bothering with that nonsense. By the way, they didn't really program these right back in the day, for lack of a better way to put that. So they can actually get offset, and it can become impossible to do some of these jumps. Like, actually impossible. If you wait too long. It's okay, if you wait too long, you're probably going to die anyways from the timer. Of all the things I know about the making of this game, one thing I do not understand is where the timer came from. I can only assume... I'm going to save state for this. I can only assume it came from a desire to, like, keep the player going. And, you know, kind of that arcade mentality. Coming in again, right? There's a lot of arcade games use the timer mechanism. Oh my god! Four, without cheating. That's kind of what this is at this point. I'm just seeing how far I can get before I finally hit load state. Because the moment I hit load state is the moment the cheat flag goes up. I don't remember, Czar. That sounds familiar, but I don't remember. So now we're small. And again, every mistake is punishing. And yeah, we're just this is gonna fall apart. This is it. This is it. Yep. So, there's the restart thing. So at least that's something. Let's get our power-ups back up. No, we're not at the cheat flag yet. We're not there yet. Game does not get credit for what I just did, though. Like I said, it doesn't have the info in the game. Does not get credit for it. But you saw what I mean. Like, the moment I lost the fire flowers, the moment it just started falling apart completely. Yep, knew that was gonna hit me. It might be worth it. Yeah, it was worth it. Yeah, just think of power-ups as lifelines in this game, as they are. Yeah, this game doesn't do that. When you have one life left, if you die, you are game over. Oh, excuse me. You know, you remember how we talk about how MMOs kind of got their start by being bad games? Like, no offense, but you know what I mean by that, right? Like, they were just not very well designed and not very well thought out, not very well put together. But by total sheer coincidence, that kind of led to them taking off because of the bullcrap you could pull off in those. Not that I'm saying that has anything to do with Super Mario Bros. 1. I'm serious, though. Think about the word-of-mouth marketing Super Mario Bros. 1 got by sheer virtue of not being a great game. Where the power-ups are, what the power-ups do, where the lives are, where the secrets of, like the warp pipes are, right? All that kind of stuff is the kind of information that it would either be shared or, bragged about. Like, oh yeah, I made it all the way up to 6-3. Oh nice, what warp pipe to use? There's warp pipes? Ugh. I don't like this jump at all. God, you kind of have to commit to it too. That's the worst part. Have you noticed how different your momentum is too? Like, based on weird factors. In fact, for those of you familiar with this game, your momentum actually changes every other frame that you're moving forwards. Because this is a game made in the early 80s. Speedrunners. and Tassers have to accommodate that variable speed when it comes to certain things. Okay, so 6-4 without cheating. Still haven't cheated. Let's get through this screen without losing our... Well, I completely killed my momentum. Okay, so 6-4 without cheating. We got this. We've got to get the power up now, though. Yeah, we've never been past this screen. We never will be. That's it. That's it. We give up on life. Yep, this is... Oh my god, this is it. This is where Mario 64 came from. Had nothing to do with the bittage. It was just everyone was stuck on this stage because of this screen. This is funny because I knew this screen was coming too. That's the hard screen, right? That's the screen nobody could get past. In Mario 1, what's my favorite tile set? Hang on. Gotta wait for the Potabo. And up. Oh, I was way too slow. I was way too slow. He roamed into me. That was tough. Nothing I can do about that. Yeah, by the way, we're at the Hammer Bros. By the way, there's no Mimish checkpoints in the Bowser stages, so we're just back here. It's okay. We have a chance to die. So 6-1. As you can see, this is when the gloves officially... Alright, just... Oh, let me get to World 7. Come on, let me get to World 7 without cheating. I can do it! I can do it! You know what? Hang on. It's hot. It is very hot today. So let's do this. Let's take off the coat. Let's just lay the coat over here. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. We got this. We got this. We can do this. We got like an hour and a half to beat this terrible freaking game. Gonna hit him. Yep. I knew that was gonna hit right when I saw his arc. That was just perfect arc. Go away, Lakitu. Nobody likes you. This is worth it because it's a mushroom. I may need to stop reading chat, because that was me glancing over to read chat for a second. And that was apparently enough of a distraction to completely flub that jump. Holy crap, okay. I don't know, and I don't care, because I don't like Harry Potter. Death to Harry Potter, and death to the living. Like, we need to find Harry Potter. We need to kill him. It should be really easy. It's okay. I've got this thing. It's this brand new wizard killing invention I just came up with. It's called a gun. I'm just gonna point it at him and just he's just gonna fall over dead. It's like magic. Hi, Adster. Trying to get me killed. Oh, I missed. It's okay. We're right here. We're right here. And I'm not gonna flub the easy jump this time. Hey, there we go. Yeah. The boy who died. That's gonna be his new title. You're a corpse, Harry. Fire the ion cannon. What's an ion? Sir, Hogwarts is a crater. As it should be. Harry Potter and the Lich King. Yeah, I think I know which way that's gonna go. What, the Buzzy Beetles? Yeah, I like Buzzy Beetles. So we were talking... This is a topic I could probably talk about while playing this extremely difficult, squirrely, terrible game. By the way, this isn't the worst game of the Mario series. This is probably going to be a net positive game. The next game, I'm not even going to try without cheats. I'm just going to break out the cheat flag in the first world. I'm just going to be like, yep. Yep. We're on 1-2. Cheat. Done. So, the way we were thinking is there'd only be a few races, but there'd be... Look, it's not my fault that this game came out in 85, Friscoborn, before they invented game design. I'm being facetious. I'm being facetious. But, like, okay, so the classes would probably be based on power-ups. That's an interesting question. Would I rather play Balan Wonderworld or this game? And the really funny thing is, I'm pretty sure Balan Wonderworld would review worse. Oh, geez, we're getting offset. No, come on! I waited like 2 seconds too long, and I got offset, and that was just game. That was just game. I hate everything in the entire universe, especially this terrible game! So you'd have your Fire Flower class, right? And you'd have, like, your Mushroom class and your Leaf class, and so forth and so on, right? Ideally, each of those would then interact differently with you depending on your species. But we probably would only have a few species, because, like, honestly, there's a lot of things in Mario, not every single thing should be playable, right? Like, that's just kind of a duh. So humans, sure. Even though we've only got, like, 3 of them. 4. 5? 5. We're gonna go with humans as one of the playable species. It'll be the most played. They'll all be named variants on Legolas. And every single one of them will be sitting in Stormwind, virtually having sex with each other. Then we'll have... We have to have Koopas. Koopas have to have a playable representation. I mean, duh, right? Past that, I'm kind of torn. It's... God damn it. Well, whatever. At least I'll get my mushroom back. Past that, I mean, the most obvious one would be toads. Because, yeah, there's a lot of different types of toads and a lot of different toads. Honestly, I can also make a pretty strong argument for Shy Guys. There are dozens upon dozens of different types of Shy Guys over the years. We'll be showing off, like, a dozen or so of them during the Yoshi's Island run, for example. There's a lot. There's a lot. So we got Shy Guys, we got Toads, we got Koopas, we got humans. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? Boos? I don't think I would do Boos, personally. Yoshis? I don't think I'd do Yoshis, either. We did it! We beat the Game Master! Oh, hey! Hey, everyone! I just hit World 7 without cheating. I am unironically impressed with myself on that. Like, I'm actually... I'm surprised that I managed that. I didn't think I would. Because I suck at this freaking game. Now, I'm not going to beat this game without cheating. There's no way. World 8 is a whole other thing. Like, if you haven't seen World 8, you have no idea. But we're going to keep those bullet bills on the screen, because they're actually going to be a defense against spawning new bullet bills. We're going to accidentally kill one of them, so we lost one of our defense layers. That's okay. That's okay. Just got to keep it going. Just got to keep it going for a second. Just chill. Just chill. Wait for the buzzy. There's no rush here. There's no rush. Okay, boom. We're up to 7-2 without cheating! I continue to be shocked by this game. Not me. I don't get any of the credit here. Oh, right. 7-2. Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay. Just, it's okay. It's okay. I'm small Mario, so I have nothing I can do except for running for my tiny, insignificant little life. I'm gonna try and get every coin I can see, because I freaking need them at this point. And we're not even in... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's... No. Too late. Okay, hang on. To the left. And then one more to the left. Nope, they didn't go left. Okay, one more to the left. One more to the left. Please? I need you to go left. I need you to go left. They're not gonna go left! I'm dead. I'm dead. Wow! They just boxed me! They just boxed me! Yeah, the bloopers actually cannot reach you on the ground, but those Cheep Cheeps, well, they work with the bloopers, and they watch, smiling, as they slowly approach you. Okay, so I want to wait for a second, because I want to get rid of that Cheep Cheep. Now we're going to wait for a second. Waiting. Okay, up. We want to outpace him. We are gonna die? I don't agree with what happened there. And that's that. We died, and we suck. But it's okay, we're at 7-1. We have made it to 7-2 without cheating. Yeah, no, the water currents are absolutely a glitch. The way the water physics work isn't... They were trying to take what was originally a shoot-'em-up and turn it into an underwater swimming game. The results are exactly what you would imagine from that scenario. Oh, shoot. Okay. I feel like one of these... Oh god, 7-1 is just... Hammer Brothers and Bullet Bills, and then 7-2 is... Yeah, you brought a Fire Flower, right? Oh, you didn't? Oh, well, screw you. Get the hell out of here. You don't belong in this game. Run! Okay, so that should be a power-up. If I can hit the damn thing. Fine, I'll use your stupid, terrible gimmick. Okay, so we have a power-up. To my knowledge, actually, yes, Frisco-born. Although, don't ask me for links, because I don't have them handy. But we actually have a lot of beta stuff in this game. Mostly because a lot of it's actually still in the game. One of the very, very common things back in the day, and I guess this is still a thing, is they would just leave data they're not using anymore in the game. They don't call it, so it's just kind of taking up space in the background there. But it's not taking up that much space because it's never actually used, right? Yeah, like the hidden levels, or the minus levels, if you're familiar with that in Super Mario Bros. Although that's a little different. Oh my god, bloopers are the worst. Bloopers are the worst. That's a lie. Hammer Brothers are worse. Nobody likes Hammer Brothers. They just suck. I hate them. And they hate me. I wish they would all die so I could beat this game without tearing out my teeth. Don't clip that. Oh my god, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get to 7-3 without cheating. I'm just, every single stage, every single step we make, I'm jazzed. I'm jazzed. Let's do it. Okay, 7-3. We got this. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Worth it. Worth it. Oh my god. 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 Okay. Okay. We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Oh god. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We can get to 7-4. I believe. I don't believe in myself at all. Are you kidding me? I am worthless and pathetic and terrible. Oh my god. Oh my god. 7-4. Yeah. Hi, Senayu. Shoutouts. Oh my god. Okay, 7-4. While small. Okay. 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 We're gonna die. Let's just accept that. Let's just accept we're about to die. 7-4 is ridiculous. I mean, every world from 6 onward is ridiculous. That's kind of its own thing. So, anyway, so... Huh, this looks... So, maze. Yep, got another maze. I don't actually remember the route for this maze. In the previous maze, if you're paying attention, there's actually a visual indicator of you going the wrong way, because the enemy projectiles will despawn on the screen if you're going the wrong way. Okay, so let's try bottom, middle, top. Nope. Okay. Oh, no, that was it. That was it. That was it. Okay, now, if anybody can guess why I knew that in chat, I will put $5 towards a game of your choice for future streaming. So top, let's go middle this time. Middle, and then bottom. Nope. Okay, well, it has to be top first. Actually, it just doesn't. Oh, God, it's probably bottom first. What do you want to bet? Okay, 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 okay. Memory. I mean, yes. Okay, so it wasn't bottom for... Maybe it's like this? No, okay, maybe it's like this. Okay, let's try middle now. And then, like, top. Hey! Oh my god. Okay, so I reserve the right to a save state here. I reserve the right to a save state. In Paper Mario 1, they do an homage to that puzzle, which I remember because I played the crap out of Paper Mario 1. So that's why I knew it. Yeah, it's actually in the final stage and everything. Okay, so and this one was top, middle, top. Nope. It's too slow. God damn it. You kind of have to go for it. Okay. Me too, that's true. Me too. I was kind of testing if anybody out there actually plays Paper Mario. Okay, so we're going to do the weird method. He's going to jump. He's going to jump. There's going to be a Potabo, and then he's going to jump. Nope. Nope. And that's game over. That close. That close. Getting to that Bowser with no power-ups is just... It's a thing. It's just a thing. And that's all there is to that. I'm gonna Hitman this for a second. Okay. One thing I find amusing is the enemies will always track to you. If anything changes their state, which includes them hitting you. So it always amuses me when, like, they hit you and then they turn around on the frame they hit you. Because they're like, oh, because, you know, evil and all that. Whoa, jeez. Whoa, jeez. Okay. I hear my door, which is a terrifying thing to be hearing right now. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay, I'll take that. I'll know that for the next time when I actually do this properly. What are you doing, baby bear? What's up?
It's dinner time.
It can't possibly be dinner time.
We're having sandwiches.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess you're in your bed though.
No, not my bed. You can't go into my bed. That's not allowed. She stole my bed, everybody. What am I supposed to do? Where will I sleep? You don't have a bed, though. Oh, okay. You have a bed now? It's gonna be a little bit too big for, or small for me, though. Excuse me. I'm gonna be a bit too big for it. I don't know. It's not that big. I'm pretty big. Have you seen me, kiddo? That's why they call me the Mountain. That's actually why you call me the Mountain.
Well, it has 2 beds.
2? 2? Are you sure?
I want another bed.
You don't get another bed. You have a bed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Did you see that? Did you see that? He wanted that. Oh, I knew that was coming too. Little snot. I'm gonna clip that. Holy crap. Okay, okay, okay. So
Does he know what came?
No, God. Okay, there was no avoiding that. I was just gonna accept that. That's a damn shame. Oh, come on. Defeat you. Defeat, 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 defeat. Alright, what are we having for dinner, baby bear? Sandwiches? That sounds really good. No! Okay, could you do me a big favor, please? Could you go up until whoever's up there, which is probably Baba.
Baba's up there, but he knows it's their time.
Uh-huh. But what I need that you is to tell him that I'm not going to be up immediately because I'm kind of in the middle of working on this. But I will be up later, okay?
But
Now you have to tell him I'll be up later, okay? Okay, thank you.
I see your bed now.
You can steal my bed. No, wait, no, don't actually steal it. Oh my god, she stole my bed. She stole my bed. She stole my bed. 'Cause she's pure evil. She's dark. She's super mean. No! You're not supposed to do that. No! Oh, Jesus, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. You fixed it? Good job.
You can stay up, steal your bed.
Why are you stealing my bed? That's my bed. My bed. My bed.
I'm stealing my bed.
You can't steal your bed. That's not how that works. You can't steal my bed because it's your bed. Ha ha ha! I gave. Oh, damn it. Yeah, there's just they just stop giving you power-ups at a certain point in the game. They stopped giving me power-ups, baby bear. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know.
Put tissue in there.
A tissue? That's not gonna work.
Yeah, you die.
No, I don't want to die.
So the TV.
I don't want the TV to die either.
Bracelet in.
Okay, I'll put a bracelet in the TV. I'm not sure how it's going to help anything.
But I can't get my red one.
Okay.
Because I can't reach it. Because I
What? Baby bear, what are you doing?
my red.
So I go upstairs, right? I'm like, hey, I'm on 7-4. He's like, cool. And I haven't cheated yet. Oh my god. You know what I'm going to do, though? If we're committing to not cheating, we really want to not cheat. Yeah, we're resistant to cheating. Let's pull up a frickin' map, shall we? Okay, there are two power-ups in the entire stage of 7-1, and one 1-up. Okay. Cool. Alright. Ironically, I know where all three are. Oh, you son of a submarine. You saw that, right? Right? Like, you saw that bullcrap? Oh my god. I might as well just reset. I need to walk into 7-4 with everything. So let's just die. Let's just die. Let's just commit suicide. Okay. Let's get all three ups in 7-1. Pretty much mandatory, I'd say. Ugh. Hi. I don't like that. I don't like that. Ooh, go away. I'll say without arms, Roxy. I forget which games they don't have arms in, but yeah, without. Run, 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 run. Here we go. Okay, we've made it to this point without getting hit, which means it's time to either die or get hit. God damn it, jump. Okay, we've gotten both power-ups and a life. 7-2. I'm going to reserve the right to a save state here, now that we've managed that. Let's pull up a map of 7-2. Like I said, we're committed to this now. We're committed. So, 7-2. Map, please. Alright, are there... guess right now in chat, are there any power-ups in 7-2? Or 1-ups? In the whole stage. If you guessed 0, then you are quite correct. There is nothing other than the coins in 7-2. Jesus. Is there anything in 7-3? There's one power-up in 7-3, and that's it. Wow. There is one power-up in 7-3. Okay. 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 Good news. We're walking in with fire. So we're actually going to kind of slow-mo this a little bit. You know, World 7 is where I used to get stuck at. I have distinct memories of that. Oh, come on! That's such bullcrap. Okay, run. 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 Never stop running. No, I saw it. God damn it! Well, now we have nothing, but it's okay because there's one power-up between us and the end of 7-4. So we have to get through 7-2 while small, get a power-up in 7-3, and then get through the rest of 7-3 without getting hit, and then get through 7-4 without getting hit. Little snot. Oh man, I don't believe in me, Lord Harrimont. This isn't happening. There's no way in hell. God, I look away for half a second. Not going for those. That's pure bait. It's pure bait. Oh god, that guy's in the worst possible spot. Oh, okay. Okay, that's step 1 of 3 done. Okay, now I have to get through this stage without getting hit while getting the power-up. There's only one, and this is the cheap stage. I'm not going to go for coins. I'm not going to go for anything fancy. Ignore what I just said about not going for coins. See, I shouldn't have gone for the coins! I knew I shouldn't have gone for the coins! Quit it! Okay. Not going for the coins, for real this time. I disagree with that. Okay, so we've lost two lives in like 20 seconds. Because this is 7-3, where hopes go to die. Oh, that's such a mean setup. Go away. So there's our power-up. The one power-up. Jump! Oh my god. Okay, 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 okay. Can't get hit. Can't die. Okay, that's step 2 of 3 done. Okay. Just... Now, hang on. Let's pause the game. Let's look at the map of the next stage. Are there any power-ups in 7-4? There are not. The good news is there's not a lot of obstacles, so all I have to do is not die. If I can manage to not die and get to the end of the stage, I will have this, and I will have reached 8-1 without cheating, which means, naturally, I'm not going to manage. I'm going to die like right here. I'm going to like boop and just flub it on this jump right here. Because I am way too psyching myself out for this. I'm going to choke. I'm going to choke at the finish line. It's going to be over. It's going to be done. There's going to be no hope. No victory. No parade. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no hope. There's no victory. There's no solution. Oh my god. Just go for it. Just go for it. That's why I had to carry that power-up across 7-3, was for that moment right there. That's exactly why I needed that. 8-1 without cheating. Welcome to hell. Okay, so this is, oh my god. So this is the Nightmare Lands. Okay, so 8-1. Let's look at a map really quick. There is a life. There's a 1-up. There's a star, and that's it. No power-ups whatsoever. So there's no nothing. There's no nothing. Let's look at 8-2 while we're here. 8-2 is its own problem. 8-2 is its own problem. There's another 1-up. Okay, so there's one power-up in 8-2. And that's it. So there's a 1-up in 8-1, a 1-up and a power-up in 8-2. 8-3 is the barrier. Most people I know have never even been to 8-3. There is a power-up in 8-3. There's 2 power-ups in 8-3. Holy crap. And that's it. And I'm pretty sure there ain't jack in 8-4. 8-4 is the real maze. The real Dark Souls begins. Yep, there is nothing in 8-4. There's not even a coin. Not even one coin in 8-4. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. So, 8-1. We have, there's one 1-up. Let's unpause the game correctly. 8-4 is the last stage. 8-4 is the finale. I'm going to close out the guessing game soon. I know I haven't got many pluses or minuses, but, I mean, you know, how would I do that? Like, that's crazy talk. I actually am thinking of several. There's probably going to be at least one level design positive for the earlier stages. One level design positive for World 6. And honestly, probably a negative level design for World 8, because World 8 is wrong in all the wrong ways, you know what I mean? It's hard because it's kind of undesigned. You know how when people are making Mario levels, either in Mario Maker or in some of the fan versions thereof, one of the first pieces of advice they give you is, don't enemy spam? Well, there's a reason for that. Okay, so I forget where it is. It's somewhere here. I don't even know how to read. There it is, there it is, there it is. Maybe? Nope, that's just a coin. I'm gonna take it, even though I'm not gonna profit from it, but, you know, whatever. Nope, okay, cool. Cool. Is it here? There it is. Nope, that's a star. Where's my frickin' 1-up? I need those 1-ups. Oh, and we're dead. Sure glad I got that 1-up that's not there. Oh yeah, mid-mission checkpoints? Pfft, what game do you think you're playing? Yeah, no, so I joked about this earlier, but to be very clear, it really, really isn't a joke. A tremendous amount of people could reach World 8. Especially since there's warp codes, or warp, you know, you can take a warp pipe to go straight to World 8. And a lot of people knew about it. Very few people I knew could ever get through World 8. I mentioned how I spent an entire afternoon and evening beating this game without cheats once. Once. Ever. I even described the apartment that my dad was living in at the time. The NES was at my dad's house instead of my mother's because she wouldn't allow any devil machinery into her house. Anyways, she softened on that later. So, the reason you spend so much time on World 8 is because it's not very well designed. And there's your elongated, your elongated playstyle. And anybody who's played a platformer game ever probably knows what I'm talking about to some extent or another. What happened there? I don't know what happened. I've never seen that happen before. Okay, I'm better prepped this time. I know it's coming. We need to pull back early. Someone asked if I have control in the air. Yes, actually, you do have control in the air. Ugh! Like right there, that was me pulling back hard. You have aerial control like that. Like all of that movement was after I was already in the air. So you see what I mean? It's just enemy spam. It's just enemy spam. And then this. Ignore that. That's not relevant because we're up to 8-2! Okay. Now 8-2, if I'm remembering correctly, was one of the ones with an actual power-up. Let me pull up the map. Pause. Okay, 8-2, 8-2, 8-2, 8-2. There's a 1-up right there. There's the power-up. I see it. I see where the power-up is. Okay. There is a power blow. We got this. We got this. We got this. We don't got this. We're gonna die. When I played this game back in the day, that one time I beat it, this was actually the stage we got stuck on. The most. And the longest. We were just stuck on 8-2. For literal hours. Actually, real life, no really style. Holy crap. This level is so goddamn unfair. The placement of where the bullet bills are, the sheer quantity of enemies, which are designed to do things like that. I just passed the power-up. So there's no big Mario for me. That's a damned shame, because that's one of the only power-ups in the entire world, and I just accidentally went right by it. Okay, so this is the leap of faith. Oh god. And that's why we call that the leap of faith. Any questions? Okay. You'll notice there's no checkpoints, by the way. So now we're back on 8-1. You're sensing a trend, I'm sure. You can feel it. You can feel why you can feel exactly why you get stuck on A2 for literal hours. What? Okay, so hang on. So now we got a suicide. We got a suicide. Ugh. Any death before, like, getting forward is just suicide territory. So let's just give up on life. Ugh. God. Oh, I feel so much better now that I've killed myself. Okay, so, just in case, let's do a backup save here. Yeah, remember, Nintendo hates you personally. And they hate America. America, I want to talk to you about baseball. Baseball is a sport that contains bullcrap. And that's why Nintendo of America understands exactly why you hate this game. It's because you need to go to bed, just like Geludo just did. If not for Geludo going to bed, we would have done this. So if we fail at this, we know exactly who to blame. We know that it's Geludo's fault. And baseball's. Damn you both. Because you both start with a B. Alright, so. Save state is cheating, yes. Save stating is cheating. Like, I suppose I should say not all application of load stating is cheating. But most application of load stating would be what I would call a cheat. Like, if I save right here and then I reload that state, that's cheating, because I don't have to do 8-1 again. That is a cheat. Okay, 8-2. So now we're back into baseball mode. Baseball. God damn that freaking Koopa. Alright, so baseball. Baseball is like that Koopa right there. It's dead because it deserves to die. Any questions? You know, in later Marios, you can just jump on the cloud there for Lakitu. Okay, so now that we've established that baseball is the source of all of our woes in society today, we can now move forward into a brighter tomorrow without baseball. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so there's the power-up right there. This is it. This is it. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Oh, that was actually pretty close. I knew it was coming. I was ready for it. Okay, we have successfully gained a health. Oh, God. There is one other power-up in the next stage. Or maybe it's the next... No, yeah, it's the next stage. There's actually 2 power-ups in the next stage. Oh, so that... Yeah, okay. So, as I was saying, let's talk about Spaceballs. Spaceballs is the worst goddamn thing. I hate Spaceballs! Even though I've literally used it as a case study in comedy. Ignore that. Nobody likes Spaceballs. Just like nobody likes baseballs. Nobody likes any kind of balls. Balls are balls. That's why they call them Thrall's balls. That Koopa is in, like, the worst possible place there. Okay, so nobody actually likes balls or space. Understood. We're gonna wait for that Koopa to stop existing. There we go. That Koopa no longer exists. As it should be. Okay, I was expecting to get shot there. We have successfully gained 1 health. Now, all we have to do is not lose it immediately. Which is what's going to happen. We're going to say, hey, there's going to be a piranha plant? No? Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so the reason I did that second jump is if you clip the edge, if you didn't quite make it, you can, at a frame-perfect jump, actually make that jump. Like pull it. Because it's the wall jump mechanic. If you played Mario Bros. 3, you're probably more familiar with that. Yeah, that's the leap of faith. Boom! 8-3. Legit. Yeah, I actually did make the wall jump thing, and I didn't hit the button in time. So now, this is the barrier level. This is the fortress level. It's the only one with any kind of variance to the background. We've already been hit, so that's fantastic. So we're going to run. We're just going to run as fast as we can. And we're going to die. Okay. Okay, we made it to 8-3, and we died. Exactly as was required. Now, we're going to pause. We're going to close this. We're going to pull up a map of A3. We're going to look up because there are 2 power-ups on this stage. Yeah, this is the Hammer Brothers stage. And it sucks. Okay, so there's a power-up there and there. So both power-ups are associated with the Hammer Brothers. That sucks. So, that's the worst thing ever. I'm pretty sure that's literally Hitler. So, we're going to do this. And we're going to wait a second. And that should not have hit me. That should not have hit me. I have been cheated by that. I am angry about that. Because that's a life I'm never getting back. And I'm probably not going to succeed now because of that. Oh my god! Why? What? No. 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 Okay. So now I have a choice. Do I go for it? I have to go for it. It's okay. So I went for it and I didn't get it. There's one other power-up. It's the last power-up of the entire game. And it's up there. It's pretty much right where that guy's standing. No! What did... So 8-1. So this is 8-1. This is when the gloves come off with regards to the developers. As I said before. Okay, all joking aside, all bullcrap aside, I think I can absolutely fairly give out some pluses and some negatives really quick. Just gonna take a moment, take a breather, pause. I made it to 8-3 without cheating, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm proud of that. If I decide to throw up the cheat flag right now, I'm happy with that. That is way farther than I thought I would get. So. General level design positive. Most of the early levels are actually really well done. It is arcade game design, which is bad. Alright, so. Proving my gaming chops. Proving I have a right to do this job. No, 8-3, I'll take that. I'm not an idiot. 8-3 is a win. Last time we reviewed this game, we gave a plus to music. Based on our current loadout, that's arguably not true anymore. The only reason this might get a plus to song, because there really is, there are 2 actual songs in this game. So, that is iconic. It is the song. It is a song that is so well known that it has had a tremendous impact on everything. It's the most remixed song in the history of the ever. But, thoughts? Good, Triaxia. We could do a song positive. That category exists now. And normally I wouldn't, because it's not what I would call a particularly good song. But it is the song, right? Like, it is the freaking video game song. So, you know what? I'll bend a little on that one. I'll give it to it, so. Yeah, it's the song, right? Yeah, so. It did. I actually agree with that. Koji Kondo and Super Mario Brothers actually did a lot to push gaming forward as a music medium. This is true. Nobuo Uematsu has actually cited multiple times that he was inspired by this song when it came to doing some stuff for like Rad Racer and eventually Final Fantasy 1. Think about that for a second. Think about Uematsu and the impact he's had on the video game music industry, directly leading to, among other things, he inspired, oh god, who did Morrowind? I suddenly can't think of the guy's name. The guy who did Morrowind, and he inspired a whole other generation. That's it, Jeremy Soule. Jeremy Soule inspired a whole other generation. Like, we can follow a music chain for a huge amount of gaming music all the way back to Koji Kondo and this song right here. So, yeah, no, I'll give it. I'll give it. Not gonna argue it. Level design positive in general, and a level design positive for World 6. World 6 is actually pretty legit. I was surprised. It's cool. Brickwork. It exists, but I think what I'm going to do here, because we have the concept of negatives for Brickwork, I think I'm actually going to give a neutral for Brickwork for this game. It's there, but it's not that great. Like I said, this is the big variance between the SNES version and the NES version. Because the NES version, excuse me, the SNES version does more with this kind of thing. So that means we're probably giving absolutely nothing on the story axis, a flat 0. So gameplay negatives. So I'm gonna give a plus to itemization. And then I'm gonna give a negative for itemization. Like, we didn't do this last time, and that's because I'm a better reviewer now than I used to be. But actually pulling up the map really shines a light on how different the level design is. You know to really hammer this in? Pun intended. 8-3 is a flat stage. There are 3 death pits. Sorry, 4. 4 death pits. Nope, I'm still wrong. 5. 2, 2, and then 1. So there's effectively 3 death pits. There's nothing really to jump over, and there's just enemies. There's bullet bills, there's paratroopers, and there's Boomerang Brothers. And that's it. That's the... Boomerang Brothers. Hammer Brothers. And that's the stage. That's the stage. It is what I would actively call bad design. It was probably one of the first stages they built for this game, if we're being honest with ourselves. World 8-4... This is when we get to the maze stuff. So the maze stuff is just trying to run out the timer, trying to make you die via timer. I don't actually mind that as much as I could. It's pretty obvious you're going through the loops, especially given how short the other stages are. And there's only 3 of them. The catch is 8-4. 8-4's route is a little bit different than the other ones. Because in 8-4 you actually have to go down a specific pipe. And then once you've gone down that specific pipe, that's how you actually progress. The catch there is, I guess, I don't know, we could debate that if we get to 8-4. And then there's Bowser's. But either way, 8-4 is also a very, very bare bones level. Like, there's piranha plants, there's like 3 Goombas, 2 Buzzy Beetles, 4 paratroopers, and then Bowser. That's the level. So both of those would probably be, at the very least, outro negative for just being boring, bland levels. But then you look at 8-2, the nightmare hellscape that is 8-2. First of all, 8-2 has no mid-mission checkpoint. It's already a bad thing. 8-2 is also long. By total contrast, 8-2 has tons of instant death pits and an absolute crap ton of enemies. Even in this one section I'm looking at right now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullet bills, 4 Buzzy Beetles, 3 Paracoopas, and a Piranha Plant, and 2 death pits in one section of the stage. That's 8-2 in a nutshell right there. That's why 8-2 is the barrier. Because 8-3 is bad, and 8-4 is bad, but 8-2 is when they're like, no, stop playing the game, stop playing the game. Or keep renting it. Just, oh man, this is crap. 8-1 isn't actually all that bad, all things considered. 8-1, well, hang on, let's walk through 8-1. Let's go through this. Let's finish dying. Let's commit suicide. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Suicide. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, okay. Now that we've killed ourselves. Alright, so let's really look at 8-1, because 8-2 is bad, 8-3 is boring, and 8-4 is boring. So we've got the instant, just death pits everywhere. Those are the ones you can run over. Good luck actually figuring that out, except by accident. A couple of pipes, nothing too bad. Very, very few coins. These are basically a joke. The odds of getting 100 coins from this point onwards is almost 0. I screwed up right there. That was my fault. So I should probably kill myself again, so I'm just going to do that really quick, because it's the best possible option, is to immediately commit suicide if you make any mistake. Which I'm not sure qualifies as good game design. But, I mean, if any game is going to suck on the outro, it's Mario frickin' 1. So, as I was saying... Well, I should update the HUD. I'm sorry. Make sure to get your guesses in. I'm probably going to chop that off soon-ish. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1... 2, 3, 4 at least, I would say, is where we're at with that. Alright. Cool, let's do this. So, yeah, you can just run over these. That's actually a glitch, by the way, as so many things in this game are. It's the nature of how the physics engine calculates things. So yeah, we're up to, what, 3 coins? I should count. I should pull up the map and count how many coins exist from this point until Bowser. I bet you it's not 100. I bet you money it's not 100. Okay, that was actually really close, but that's okay. So we're gonna grab this. Run. I don't know, 8-1 isn't impressing me either. At most, at absolute most, I would say this is probably a neutral, a wash. What do y'all think? And there's this nonsense thing. My dad could never do this section right here. Yeah, that jump. That friggin' jump. Okay. No deaths, 8-1. Now we go through the barrier. The hellscape. 15 coins on 8-1. Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna do this nice and slow. We know what we're doing now. We're gonna let that guy plummet to his death. Suicide. Gotta get all the suicides in. We're gonna kill the Lakitu. We do not want him in our way this stage. So, die Lakitu. Those are 4 coins. Not actually worth our time. This is a 1-up. If we can just... Okay, I'll accept that. Please, get out of the way. Okay, 1-up, get. Then we have... This is the hellscape that is 8-2. And also where the power-up is, the only power-up. Right there. So there's the only power-up in between 8-1 and 8-2, is that one I just picked up. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, 8-2 absolutely deserves an 8. If for nothing else than for this freaking jump right here. This goddamn jump. Oh, that jump. That freaking jump. Yeah, I like that the 1-up respawns. I don't like that I just got hit by basically being jump locked into that. But whatever. 8-3. Remind me, Rain 36, I might have. I'm kind of distracted for the last, like, 2 worlds here. Okay, so now the boring stage. So that's 4 coins. We're up to 19 coins so far. I know there's 1 coin block in this stage. Okay, so upper right is the first one. We're gonna get up close. He's gonna jump down and he's gonna jump up. Yep. And then we're gonna chill. We're gonna chill. We've got time. We've got time. We're gonna kill him. I want my mushroom very badly. I don't... Oh, but, okay. Then that happened. Oh, yes, yes. The Rain 36, sorry. Yes, obviously we've talked about that. Okay, so now we're going to do this. We're just going to chill here for a minute. Going to chill here for a minute. We need to not go too far forward because this one's on the left. And I would really like to get this mushroom. You... God... Damn... So that's the last power-up of the game. And it's just... I hate everything. Oh my god, I hate everything. Oh, okay, hang on. So... There is gotcha. That's actually a very good point. Mario 1 falls into the problem a lot of old games do. Gotcha. Okay. 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 So we're gonna make a bit of a leap of faith. We're gonna fail at that leap of faith, and we're gonna die because there was no option there. I got squished. There, someone roll a d20 for me really quick. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. He's gonna jump up. Should be one up. Yep, okay, cool, cool. Okay. Why? Why? That guy's gonna jump all the way down, almost assuredly. Yep, 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 yep. Trying a different tactic entirely here. Okay, now I very much need to not get hit. Very, very much need to get to the next power-up without getting hit. In fact, I'm gonna indulge in a save state. And that might be when we finally throw up the cheat flag. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna save state here. So, part of the reason this is so important is the final stage, but the other reason is it's the only reliable way to deal with the Hammer Brothers in this section. Because there's no terrain. So there's nothing you can do to dodge them. This is essentially a health tax area. You either have the Fire Flower, or you take a hit to get through. And because of how inconsistent the hurt boxes is on those hammers, and by the way, there's 4 of them. Yeah, that's all kind of bullcrap. So here's the only coins. So it's like 10 coins. So that's what, 25 coins in World 8 total. Speaking of which, 8-4, no cheats. We're just gonna do all kinds of save states here. 29 coins. And there are no coins in A4, so that's it. 29 coins. There's no reason for coins to even exist in World 8, to be honest with you. Okay, so we made it to 8-4 without cheats. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. I know the route, I think. I have Fire Flower, which is pretty much mandatory. Good luck seeing that little orange platform if you don't know it's there. Okay, so we're in 8-4. It's a good thing. I know where I'm going. Good luck seeing the platform if you don't know it's there. Okay, real talk. I don't remember which one of these pipes it is. So... this feels right. Yep. Nope, this is good. This is good. This is good. Because this is what we want right here. Yep. They're here to try and take away your power-up. Yep, just like that. That's actually terrible. I think I just lost the game right there. I think that Cheep Cheep just cost me the entire game. I'm not joking. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. So, cheat. We have just cheated. That's it. That's the line. I made it to 8-4 without cheats. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that to the box. What's really worse is I didn't remember the last warp pipe, too. So I wasn't sure where I was going. And that's why I got hit by the Cheep Cheep. Should have just looked at the damn map. Speaking of which, I'm going to look at the map now. Where am I going? Okay, so we went through E. Now I need to go through... Looks like H? No. G. Which is the one after the lava pit. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, that's discouraging. I was really hoping to have beaten this game without cheats for a second time. Ever. In my entire life. But... oh well. Okay, so we've looped. Oh, no, here's the lava pit. Here's the lava pit. So right here. This is what we want. I'm tempted to run it back. I really am. But I've got dinner that's currently cold. Because it was cooked like an hour early. And, you guys don't want to watch me do that. If I really care, I'll do it off camera. The only one I'm doing that for is me. Anyways, this level sucks. There really is nothing to it. It's the maze, and then there's Bowser. And then you win. That's it. Game time. Not a great ending. So, anybody have any additional positives or negatives they want to suggest for this game? Just random curiosity. God, I cannot believe that. I got all the way to the final stage, and I got laid low by a Cheep Cheep. It does use color well, but actually, that's a good point. I agree. Let's give a negative for visual distinction. There are multiple points at which the very light green on the very light blue on the very light everything does not look good. Oh, right. Thank you for reminding me. Hurt boxes. We actually have tradition for this because Donkey Kong Country Returns was the first game we gave a negative for inconsistent hurt boxes. The NES can actually do quite a few colors per screen, but this was the beginning of the NES. They didn't know what the hell they were doing yet. That's true. Negative for gameplay. It saved gaming. Positive for warp zones. I was debating that. There's a lot of secrets in this game, and I want to give it a positive for that. Not sure I can. Because unlike every other Mario game, including the ones we've been playing over the last few days, or weeks, I guess, at this point, it doesn't do anything to even indicate they exist. Never mind the fact that, you know, where they are exactly. I know people who have played this game and didn't even know that there's warp zones. Or like the vine, right? or the Sky World, or the 1-ups, or anything. The movie, Ross. If I remember correctly, and I do, I found that warp whistle by myself, thanks to essentially completely lucky chance. No, Lord Aramont. I am unaware of such a thing existing. I'd list myself, but I know that stuff exists, so that doesn't really count. You know what's funny? Some people say beating this game warpless is, you know, like a big achievement or whatever. I don't actually agree with that. I don't want to sound elitist about that. Really. It's just, the bullcrap part of this game is pretty much all backloaded into World 8, right? I think I've done a very good job of demonstrating that. So, I don't, like, it doesn't make the game easier, is what I'm trying to say. Being able to skip right to World 8 from, I think, World 1 is not that big of a deal. It just means effectively loading your game, you know? In my mind, that's what I've always thought of the warp pipes as. The poor man's load. Or saves, or however you want to think of that. God, how to outpace the damn thing. God damn this game! I hate this game so much. Trying to think of any other positives here. Like, for such a landmark game, it's just, it's Mario 1. Yeah, I'm never playing this game again. I might go for what I'm doing right now, for the sake of pride. Off camera sometime, because this is taking too long. But, no. Alright, so. I've lost my mojo. It's gone. And I've got, like, I'm actively losing out on dinner because of this at this point. So, so this was... Where's the audit? Where's the audit? There it is. Oh, no, I'm going to calculate everything now. Like, that's the other thing. I got paperwork to do tonight. So... I suppose, just for historical interest, let's see what pluses and minuses we gave it last time. Just for the heck of it. There it is, Super Mario Brothers. Let's see. We gave no story pluses or negatives. The tutorialization, yep. One level design, yep. Wow. Difficulty curve. Lack of mid-mission checkpoints in World 8, which I've already jotted down. And artificial difficulty in World 8. Yeah, no, that tracks. Replayability. Y'all argued me up to a replayability positive last time. I'm just going to be real. You've got a little bit of a harder battle this time around. I mean, this is certainly a game worth playing pretty much entirely for, you know, historical significance, right? This launched gaming as we know it. Video games existed before this, but not really. And it's been all downhill ever since. Hell, I would rather replay Mario 2 over this, and that's arguably a worse game. I would definitely replay Mario 3, and that's definitely a worse game. Alright, so. See, I'm just trying to lose as many viewers as I can here with my terrible, terrible takes. 1, 2... Lost Levels? That's tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Okay, you want to hear something funny? This game was a colossal, huge commercial success. But Mario 2, we'll get to it, Starscream. So do me a favor and save that question, because I will talk about it, or watch me on the VOD. The super summary is that Super Mario Bros. 2 pretty much was perfectly positioned to launch Mario as a franchise. And I mean that. Mario 1 was bonkers because of a unique confluence of many things. It was the World War I of video gaming. Super Mario Bros. 2 capitalized on a lot of where games were going and developed and moved gaming forward in several significant ways. And then there was Mario 3. If Mario 1 is the innovator, Mario 2 is the codifier, Mario 3 is the establisher. Mario 3 is when Mario became Mario. Yeah, exactly. The golden standard. Yeah, no, 40 million copies, which does count baked-in copies, is nevertheless absolutely insanely, mind-numbingly huge. I believe that's also counting re-releases, and this game has been re-released a lot. Like, a lot, a lot. Yeah, no, that is insane by today's standards. Look up some of the best-selling games of the last few years, and most of them will not reach that number. How many copies did GTA 5 sell, for example? I know what you're going to do. You're going to Google it, and then you're going to find like 3 different answers to that. We talked about this during the GTA 5 run. But, 1 second. Well, that's the problem. GTA 5's numbers are actually skewed because of GTA Online. And they did start selling it as a separate thing, and you get it. But GTA 5 by itself... I remember looking this up. Did I write it down? Oh, looks like I did. Well, let me put it to you this way. GTA 4 sold 25 million. Yeah, see, that's... I know that number, and that number is actually wrong, Guthor. Like I said, I looked this up when I was doing the GTA 5 run. I will put it to you this way. I did find one cohesive number for GTA 5, and that's just the PC release of GTA 5. That sold 12 million, which may sound relatively shorter, but that is still extremely impressive, and that's a re-release. But I'm getting off topic. Let's do a really quick audit, shall we? I'm pretty sure none of this is going to apply for Mario 1. Doesn't really have boss design to speak of. There's no camera to speak of. There's no... Like, the controls aren't bad. but the jumping is, so I'm going to give a negative to that. Oh my goodness. If I can think of one more... Can anybody think of one more plus to gameplay, just for fun? It has to be valid. We have to earn it. But if you can think of a plus to gameplay for this game, that would amuse me greatly. The multiplayer doesn't even exist. The bounciness. I don't even know what that means. Enemy variety. Nope. There's things that move on the ground. There's things that jump at you. And then there's things that shoot at you. And then there's Hammer Brothers. The Fire Flower. Nope. Believe bounce off any solo combo. Still nope. If we give a plus for that, I have to go back and give a lot of pluses to a lot of games. The design. Well, that's the most generic positive I've ever heard. Look. Plus to design. Design of what? Shut up. There's just design, okay? Oh, enemy design. Still no. Second quest. Nope. The fact that it exists. Nope. Scrolling levels being innovated. Nope. What's funny is we've given more pluses to this game than we did last time. We have also given more negatives. Kid-friendly, nope. Also, I don't think this is kid-friendly. My niece has played this game. She gave up on World 2. Music, already put that one down. Good UI, I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I've seen worse. Happy colors. Nope, like I mentioned earlier. Distinction is eh. Hidden paths, with nothing to indicate that they even exist. Lots of secrets, with nothing to indicate that they exist. The most I could do, and I've been debating this, is give a plus for secrets and a minus for guidance. Which, actually, let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that. Let's put that under... How would that apply in this case? Okay. Yes! Rain 36. That's true. This game launched a movie that is absolutely terrible. That I've seen more than once. I didn't see it in the theaters. I never will. I mean, no. Play Javal. I get where you're going with that, but I'm going to shut that down immediately. Yeah, no, I think that is it. Cool. So, that leaves us with a 0 to story and a -1 to gameplay. Yeah. That sounds about right. I sure hope so. Because that's positives 1 and 2, Loke. I mean, it does make sense, Lord Aramont. And no, yeah, this is absolutely a first game. That is something very logical. So yeah, you know where this is going, golden number wise. Where's the guessing game? Where's the guessing game? Let's pull this sucker up here. I mean, if we're being honest, this could have been a lot worse. Which isn't saying much. Net story score, 0. Which is 0 per hour. Net gameplay is -1. Which is a ratio of 46% and 0.35 negatives per hour. Leaving us with a golden number of the granddaddy of video gaming, as it has been for the last 40 years, of -1.56. And I stand behind that. And Trihexia wins by virtue of having guessed a 0. It came very close to being a 0. Then we hit World 8. That World 8 robbed me. And then I gave it negatives for no reason other than pure vitriolic hate, which is what the comment section is going to say. Listen, Czar. Last time it was net positive. Barely. Just barely. So it's going towards Killzone, Alundra, and Winx Club, which I think is a show. Tomorrow... No, Trihexia. Tomorrow we're playing Lost Levels.